Hi everybody, it's Audrey. Thanks for stopping by today for day 11 of my Summer Scrapping Series. Today I am using the July kit from Hip Kit Club, and my guest today is Ashley Horton, who you might know owns the Cut Shop, which is an Etsy shop for cut files, and I will be using some of her cut files and printables in an upcoming video, so please stay tuned for that. And I will link her YouTube channel below. So I am using, as I mentioned, the July 2018 Hip Kit Club kit, which features a lot of beautiful summery colors. There's a lot of exclusives in the kit this month, which I'll be working with on my page today. And I, as I mentioned, I think yesterday in my video, I really want to use some more cardstock. So I am going to go for a colored cardstock background today and try to skip the white. In addition, I am going to be using some Fringe on my page. Now, the kit comes with Fringe, however, I did not get it in my kit, I believe because it was back ordered and I get my kit earlier. So I'm going to make my own Fringe, and I am using these mixed media sheets from ThermoWeb, which is their brand iCraft. And I am just, these are kind of like an interfacing sheet. It's kind of like a little fabric, and I just cut a strip with my scissors and cut a whole bunch of lines in it to make some fringe, and I was just kind of folding it and playing around with it to see what I wanted to do with it. And along with the fringe, I'm going to cut out this scallop paper. I think this is an exclusive paper, I think, in the Hip Kit Club kit. It's either exclusive or it's from, yeah, it's exclusive. So I'm going to cut out these scallops because, I don't know, whenever I see a piece of scallop paper like this, it just screams to be fussy cut. So I'm going to cut out a strip of each color. And the interesting thing is the negative of the part that I cut out from the scallops, I kind of liked the pattern on that, and I thought I was going to use that. I ended up not using it. And I have taken my fringe strips and cut those into scallop shapes as well. I thought that was going to look cool like that, and I don't show you this because I edited it out of the video because I spent so long fiddling around with it. I'm gluing the scallop paper strips to the scallop fringe strips, and then I put this little piece of paper on top. And then I went back and spritzed with some blue mist because I thought they needed a little bit of color and that they were too white. And I don't really end up using any of this. But I thought I would keep this part in here so that you can see, you know, some of the ideas that you could do with fringe. I have to admit, I had a hard time using fringe, but I think the way it works out, then I really like what I did with it at the end, and I think this would be pretty, but maybe not how I had it. It was just a little too busy for me on this page anyway. But I do love the colors of the scallops, and I love that blue mist on the fringe, and coloring it a little bit I thought was pretty fun. Okay, so once I get all of those little strips made, this is what they looked like. And again, I love the colors of the scallops. I felt like the fringe kind of got lost underneath this all once I put this all on. So now I'm going to go back and take some of these scallop strips that I cut and just see how they look plain without any of the fringe or the other pattern. I also felt like I have a whole bunch of colors already. I've got some fringe. I've got some pattern paper going on. It's just getting a little too crazy. I mean, I maybe could have made it work, but it just wasn't jiving for me. And I'm glad I'm showing you this is because I really got frustrated with this process, and I'm like, oh, this is not how I wanted it to look. And sometimes you have an idea in your head and it turns out perfectly, and then sometimes you have an idea in your head and it does not come out the way that you want. So I took the pattern paper off, and instead of putting it on top of the scallops, I put it as a mat behind my photo, and I'm starting to like this a little bit better. I've taken a 3x4 Project Life card. It says something about sunshine, and I put that next to my photo, and I thought it has a lot of white space in it, so I thought it'd be a cute place to add some embellishments. So I put a little sunshine up there. That sun is from Simple Stories, and another little piece of chipboard from Simple Stories. I've also used these are exclusive in the kit, some acrylic clouds. So it's a clear acrylic, and that's up on top of that little 3x4 card. And then the words summer together down at the bottom, those are also acrylic pieces. And those are absolutely beautiful. There's lots of, I think in the embellishment kit and the main kit are the acrylic pieces. And then I'm going to go through the ephemera packs here. There's an ephemera pack, or die cut pack rather, in the main kit, and then there's a die cut pack, I believe, in the Project Life kit. And they are both exclusive, and I'm going to pick out some bits from there, some flowers and little hearts and things like that, a couple tags here and there. So I'm just playing around, going through my stash, finding out what fits and what I want to add in. So the fringe on the scallops was still bothering me a little bit. And then I had another idea of how to use the fringe. So I'm going to take this lighter blue cardstock that I gessoed, and I'm going to trim off 1/2 inch on each side, so 1 inch total. And I took a darker blue piece of cardstock, and I cut a whole bunch more fringe strips. Again, these are just straight strips with some lines cut in them. And I am just going to glue them around the edge. And I'm using a tape runner for these because I thought it would be easier than liquid glue. So I'm going to glue them around the edge. And once I get them all glued down, I will go back and kind of fluff them up a little bit, because right now it's hard to see the detail on the fringe, but once I fluff them up a little bit, I think you can see the fringe better. And I'm overlapping the pieces. You can't even tell where the seam is because I'm going to put another piece of cardstock over the top. So it will just be a little peak of fringe hanging out from the border. And I think this is really fun. And then I kind of wish I did go back and add some color to it, maybe with a little bit of mist and just some splatters perhaps, but I guess the white is fine. Okay, and then so I'm going to put my other piece of cardstock over the top. I like that much better. Ooh, there's a great shot of some grays in my hair. So here's where I'm roughing up the edges. And I'm really being rough with it because I really want them to show. But I found that if I just ran my finger down it, it kind of roughed it up pretty good. So I will, before I glue that cardstock down on top, I want to make sure I have everything lined up how I want it. So I'm going to put my photos back on, and I'm going to go back to these little scallop strips, and I'm going to rip the other fringe off. So all of that work that I spent like 1/2 hour doing, making these little scallop strips with the fringe and the other pattern paper, I ended up going back just to the plain strips. And it's pretty much, the design is going to be the same. I had played off camera, I had played around with maybe doing like a horizontal design, but I really liked the look at an angle. Maybe it has to do with the angle of the photo, but for some reason the having everything tilted a little bit on this page just seemed to work better. So this photo is almost exactly a year ago. And we had an amazing day at the lake. We took the boat down to a local state park, and we played cards, and the kids played on the playground, and they picked shells on the beach. And then we all rode back in the boat, and my daughter got to drive. And what's cool about this picture is my brother and my brother's friend are on the wave runner in the background, and they just caught a wave perfectly as I was snapping this picture, and so everybody's in the picture, so that's kind of cool and fun. So as I was cutting up the scallops, I wanted to bring a little bit more color to the top border, and I thought, all right, let me cut some of these scallop pieces up individually, and I put them as a border at the top, and I love how that looks, and I love that peeking out from the cardstock there. So I did the same thing at the bottom, and I'm starting to feel so much better about this page now because, like I said, I had too much busyness going on, and just putting a border on and bringing the color to the edges and removing some of the pattern paper and scalloped fringe, I think, just made a big difference. I added a couple more die cuts here and there, some hearts and some little flowers, and I kind of did the matchy-matchy color thing on the scallop strips. And now I'm taking some more of the acrylic shapes. You can see there's an acrylic rainbow up in the top right. It's, oh my gosh, I love it. It's so cute. I don't use it on this page. I played around with it, but it didn't really fit in this page, but I've got other plans for it. And I'm taking some of the other acrylic shapes and putting them on the scallops, and there's There are some flower shapes and heart shapes and a star, and there's some ice cream cones, which I don't use either on this page, but super duper cute. I wanted one more orange thing up in the top of the photo, so I'm taking these, I'm not really sure what you would call these, enamel shapes, I guess, enamel circles, and it says Hello Summer. And I stick that up there behind the sunshine. Okay, so I'm finally happy with this. I am going to start adhering things together top down, and I drew a white line on my page with my pen to kind of remember where my photo is going. You don't even see it at the end. And my camera cut out because my battery died on my phone, so I had to charge it and pause, and then I went back. I have added some splatters, and I first used a shimmers called is it a Vibes? I think it's a Vibes called Snow Wayman, and then I tried some of the Pink Fresh watercolor inks that come in the color kit this month, and I love the dark blue, and I watered it down a little bit and splattered that. And I love how the splatters just add that watery, splashy feel. And I'm just going to go back now and add everything back onto my page like I had it. So I had, again, before I took these things off, I had kind of assembled them together in kind of clusters and groups so that I could just put them right back on and glue them. I decided to glue my acrylic shapes down with the with some liquid glue. Well, I use liquid glue on everything, but it's the mixed media liquid adhesive, and I love that adhesive. And once I have, I'm glad I drew the line of the angle because with the white pen, because it helped me line up these strips as well. I'm going to go back and stitch over these. And I didn't want it to be all wonky, so I wanted to make sure they were all lined up correctly. I feel like, I mean, this is kind of a busy page, but there's not actually a lot on. I mean, I don't know. For me, I guess it doesn't feel like there's a lot on it. I felt like maybe I could put something else on it, but then I didn't want it to be too busy. But I was happy with how it ended up. So you can see I stitched there over the scallops, and you got maybe a little shot of the fringe. The fringe also doesn't photograph very well. It looks very flat in the photo, like when you see my photo at the end, but it does have a lot of texture and has a lot of texture to the page. And I think that's it. Yeah, there's my finished page. So you can see the little pops of fringe there and the beautiful colors and some of the detail in the stitching, and you can see the acrylic shapes really well in some of these close-ups. So that is it for day 11 for my page today. Go check out Ashley Horton's YouTube channel and watch her video. I'm sure she has an amazing page. And I will see you tomorrow for day 12. Yes, day 12. Thanks so much for stopping by, and stay scrappy, friends.